2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The starting lineup representing Utah Jazz. At point guard, Ricky Rubio. At power forward, Derek Favors. At the other forward position, Joe Ingles. At the other guard position, Donovan Mitchell. At center, Rudy Gobert. The head coach of the visiting team is Quinn Snyder.
At the power forward position, 6 feet 10 inches, number 0, Marquise Chris. The other forward position, standing 6'8", number 7, Carmelo. The big man, 6 feet 10 inches, number 15, Clint Capella. Starting at point guard, at 6'0" inches, number 3, Chris Paul. And starting at guard, number 18, James Harden. The head coach of the home team. Let's hear it for your Houston Rockets.
We're live, the home of the Rockets in wonderful Houston, Texas. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony. We'll be catching up in a bit from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. The Houston Rockets coming to this one after a win against the Clippers in Los Angeles. It was just a textbook performance. That game was all theirs. Once they got it going, it was full speed ahead.
Just a terrific effort off the bench. Guys came in, they seemed fresh, and they all contributed.
I think, Greg, everyone played their role so well, and I loved how aggressive the guys off the bench were in that one.
And so off the tip, it's Utah. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Utah, Rubio teams up with Mitchell in the backcourt. Ingles outside with Favors at power forward. And it's Gobert in at the 5, roaming the paint. What you notice immediately with Marquise Chris, he is a high-level athlete.
Right, Kev. This guy is a big-time athlete who entered the league pretty raw skill-wise. But to me, there is so much of a ceiling here. If he can learn to look out.
And the rejection by Favors. Here's Anthony. Rudy Gobert with the rebound. And the Jazz pushing it up now. Here's Mitchell. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
See, I think you want more of this from Joe Ingles. He has the size and length to keep plays alive.
Harden the pass to Paul. There's the triple. And Harden gets it to go in on the assist from Capella. Harden's got his first 3 points of the game.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Rubio with it. He's picked up by Paul. Here's Gobert, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
See, I have so much appreciation for the way Rudy Gobert plays the game. This guy takes smart shots on the offensive end. He uses that reach to perfection on the defensive end. He is a defense unto himself.
The first one falls. Many were hoping for Rudy Gobert to take on a bigger scoring load last year, and Doris, it didn't happen.
Well, obviously, Rudy Gobert's main impact is going to be as the stifle tower, that effective defender. He's got to continue to work on the offensive end of the floor.
No good on the second free throw.
Boy, the missed free throw there, keeping this game at even. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them.
The shot by Paul, no good.
Yeah, and something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Yeah, that's not a good example right there. You could have worked it around to get a better opportunity.
Here's Chris. That one off the back iron and out.
And just the kind of start you're hoping to avoid. 1 for 5 from the field here early on.
Paul kicks to Capella. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's going to be on Rudy Gobert.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there. And the 6'11" Clint Capella, just a phenomenal athlete. The mobility at that center spot is something really so crucial in today's game, where every team is looking to expose big men on the perimeter.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That's good from Capella. And Capella grew up in Switzerland playing soccer. A striker. Part of why he's so quick on his feet.
I mean, reminiscent of another soccer-playing center in Rockets history, the great Hall of Famer Hakeem Olajuwon. Capella, you know, he's a long way from that, but anchoring a 60-win team at age 23, that's one heck of a start.
Doors when the light finally goes on for a young guy. So fun to watch. Younger players who've got all the talent and all the world right in front of them, but yet haven't put it all together just quite yet.
It's amazing to me how quickly we can give up on a young guy who maybe doesn't find success right out of the gate. But the reality is, you have to remember, player development is the lifeblood of this league, maybe now more than ever with the current state of the salary cap. So a little patience as a fan base goes a long, long way.
Utah with the ball. Following the score by Houston. The Jazz again can't hit it.
He's obviously still trying to find the range. No success this quarter. You'll wonder what it would take to get him to pass the ball.
It doesn't matter how a defense plays him. Hart is going to make sure that the three-point shot is a primary weapon.
Now here's Gobert. He had 10 points in the win against Memphis.
And how about the job he did rebounding as well, guys? I mean, just a dominant performance on the glass.
As many expected him to, Carmelo Anthony choosing to opt into his contract, but his stay in Oklahoma City still came to an end.
You know, it was pretty clear that Melo and the team just didn't mesh. OKC made the choice to let him go and save on the luxury tax. Melo might not be worth max money anymore, but he could still be a factor with this team.
That free throw good from Anthony.
You know, that's an interesting point about Carmelo, one of the most prolific free throw shooters in the history of the game. Spends a lot of time at the stripe.
Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line.
Carmelo Anthony, one of the most formidable scorers ever. Top 20 in points all time in NBA history.
You know, you'd be hard-pressed to find many players in the league that are as strong in the mid-range as Melo.
Jazz trail by 9. Timeout is called, first of the game for the Jazz. And when you think about Melo's scoring back to the basket, facing up, so versatile as a scorer.
A combination of strength, quickness, and touch that you rarely see. He can go around you, through you, or shoot it right over you. A moment to see the stats for Ricky Rubio. He had a strong showing last season. Put up about 13 points per, 5 assists and 4 rebounds. And when he takes over at the point, he really keeps the offense flowing.
Well, this is a guy who brings a solid skill set. Excellent ball handler, high level of playmaking, the perfect backup point.
Now, here's Rubio. 11 points for him in that last game against Memphis.
And we have to mention his rebound. It wasn't all about the offense. He battled his tail off down low.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus, not good.
And the foul on Harden. That is his first foul of the game. Favors with Dean. And Rubio kicks to Favors. And it's Marquise Chris with the foul. That's his first foul. Harden against Mitchell. Clock at 6. Harden knocks it away.
No other way to put it. Just a rough quarter in terms of scoring. He has not been helping at all.
And that one drops.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Now, here's Ingles. Mitchell outside. Favors with a screen on Harden. Gobert the screen. Mitchell's shot is good.
Well, the defense so concerned about the dribble drive ability of Donovan Mitchell, but boy, you better contest as well.
And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. And so it's Houston with it. Nice job coming off that screen. 8 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Defensively, they've got to pick up the intensity. Hard to win surrendering this high a field goal percentage.
Favors passes to Gobert. Shoots over Capella. Gobert can't hit. And here are the Rockets now. They're on a 17-4 run right now. Stolen by Mitchell. Oh, the lob to Gobert. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Just great recognition from the athletic big man. Gobert finish off the nice pass.
And that unleashed chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Ingles with the screen for Mitchell. Gobert with the screen on Anthony. Gobert the screen. Favors can't get it to go.
And why take that contested shot? I mean, make the extra pass.
That's a head scratch. When the defense is in your grill, move the ball. What is really compelling to me is the way the Utah Jazz team plays defense. Yes, it starts with the Stifle Tower, Rudy Gobert, but there is commitment and there is great structure in what they want to do on the defensive end. And I'll tell you, it is absolutely suffocating at times.
This guy is a beast on the board.
And when he gets those second chance points, he does not waste one of them.
So very quick to convert off the miss and usually with authority.
And from the opening tip, they have been in complete control of this one.
Yeah, you know, it looks like they've wanted it more. Outstanding hustle and determination throughout.
Utah calls timeout. And for the Jazz, defense is the identity this team builds around.
You look at nearly every defensive metric from a season ago, the Jazz were near the top in most. They are great at forcing turnovers, great at closing out possessions with excellent defensive rebounding, and they do a great job of bothering shots and rotating in necessary positions. I love this team on that end of the floor.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Nene comes in for Clint Capella. And Gordon subbed in for Chris. Crowder, he's checked in for Utah. Cephalosha comes in for Joe Ingles. Now here is Cephalosha. To the middle, here's Gobert. And slam dunk by Gobert.
Well, the defense, no time to react on the Rudy Gobert throwdown.
Paul kicks to Nene. In the corner, it's Gordon. Rebound, Utah. Gobert's got 5 rebounds tonight. Down low, Crowder, and a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
Well, to me, it's critical that Mitchell continue to focus on hitting the guys who are open. We know he can score the ball.
Anthony against Crowder. Anthony's shot is off.
Boy, I'll tell you, he has plenty of space, but it looked like a little bit of a hitch in that release.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
And when you build a big lead like this, especially early, you have to guard against the letdown.
No, exactly right. You can't afford to get complacent, right? They have to stay hungry and humble if they want to keep this lead.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Yeah, and an example of why you want to let the game come to you. The opening presented itself, he converted in a big way.
Now Cephalosha. James Harden missing on the 3. And the shot goes in from Rudy Gobert.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Here's Nene, and Nene slams it in.
Now, this guy's a force when he gets close to the rim. Nene always seems to get close enough to throw it down.
And Rubio kicks to Gobert. Mitchell dishes to Cephalosha. The pass to Rubio. Gobert, the screen. Pass to Cephalosha. Just 5 to shoot. 3-pointer. And Utah, another 3.
Boy, ran his man right into the pick and got the open look. Basketball 101.
And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. A lot of responsibility, Doris, in being the focal point of an offense. What characteristics have you seen are shared among NBA players who carry the load offensively for their teams every game?
Right, this is a great separation point to me in the NBA because there are a lot of outstanding players at the level on any given night in the NBA. But Kevin, there is a select few players who are willing to share the lion's share of the responsibility. Men like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. Like, you have to be prepared 82 times per year to step between the lines, shoulder the load, and sometimes when you underperform, to bear the criticism that comes with that responsibility. And Kevin, you know this. That's a select few player who's willing to absorb that.
Good thoughts. Gobert with the block.
And the remarkable reach of the stifle tower. Gobert twice on the pipes.
Crowder, the pass to Rubio. Gobert, the screen. Outside, Crowder. The shot. Gobert can't hit.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Nene kicks to Green. And there's a minute 45 left here in the first quarter. And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession. Udo's checked in for Rudy Gobert. 1:43 left here in the opening quarter. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, earlier I spoke with Quinn Snyder. He knows they have to dig in on defense. They're facing a really talented offense. He said if those guys get going, wrong end of some long runs, we have to be disciplined, work together, and make those second, third, and fourth efforts on plays. Whatever it takes to get a stop. We'll see if they can get a win in this first matchup between the teams this year. Back to you, Kevin.
Ray David, thanks. There are some weapons they have to contain today, and Coach let his guys know it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of question as to what you have to do to be successful against this team. You've got to clamp down on D.
I think game prep is a little different when you're facing these guys. All the focus has got to be on slowing down their attack.
And the first one at the line is good.
You know, guys, what's so interesting to me about Alec Burks, now that he's a veteran in this league, He's never been a starter for a long, extended stretch, but he's always been in the rotation. For me, the next step for this guy is just being more consistent.
Heights checked in for Houston. And Utah also making a switch. O'Neal's checked in. Alfred Burks last season, Doris, able to play more after being sidelined with injuries in the past.
Well, you think about those injuries really are the only thing that stepped between him and having a larger role, because this guy has a terrific shot from deep, and in the NBA, that's always a valued commodity.
Now, here's Udo. Here's Rubio. And that one off the back of the rim and in. Rubio's got his first basket.
Well, the catch-and-shoot game, typically Rubio's on the passing end of it, not this time.
Green with a screen on Rubio. Nene outside. There's Green with the three. Hits it from three-point range. Green's got 5 points so far.
And the defense is in disbelief here. Triple after triple.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Now, here's Burks. 6 to shoot. Over Green. Here's Crowder. It's tipped.
Well, statistically not the most imposing shot blocker, but he gets every bit of that one, did Tucker.
Here's O'Neal. Again, the Jazz score. Carmelo Anthony getting it done for the Houston Rockets. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. We'll get right back to the action when we return. Now a chance to hear shooting guard Eric Gordon talk about their key to winning.
It's all about not making mistakes, getting rebounds, and getting good stops to really push the pace up. And I think when we do that, we always are at our best.
And, Greg, nowadays it's all about pushing the pace.
And it's an offensive-oriented league now. When you execute and really look to attack, it puts the opposition on their heels.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And guys, for the Rockets, what jumps out to you from a numbers standpoint?
I mean, they're winning the turnover battle, and oftentimes that can swing things your way.
Well, you really like the activity on the defensive end. Outstanding jumping into passing lanes and coming up with steals.
Gordon is out there with P.J. Tucker. Then it's Green. Then there's Brandon Knight. Then it's Nene. And at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets.
Well, that shows a sign of maturity, guys. Everyone expecting Knight to try and score it. Instead, he finds the open man.
Screen by Udo. Rubio, the pass to Crowder. O'Neal kicks to Rubio. Oh, good with the triple.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
You know, that's okay, I think. Even though they miss, they still have to be happy with the shot selection.
And it's Green missing. Jazz trail by 4. Udo dishes to Rubio. Nice ball movement by Utah. Burks on the wing, guarded by Tucker. Screen by O'Neal. 6 to shoot. Burks can't get it to go. Rockets have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Took him no time at all on that one. And the Rockets lead by 7.
I know he's not the most efficient long-range shooter, but Tucker hits enough of those to space out the defense.
Screen by Udo. Crowder, the pass to Rubio. Overnight. Another miss by Utah.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been able to find the mark all night. It's a big reason they're staring at this deficit.
Green, the screen. Nene kicks to Gordon. Off target from three-point range. Jazz trail by 7. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. And here's Burks. Screen by O'Neal. Burks with it. And it's Gordon picking him up.
Well, Burks has exceptional athleticism, and ooh, he flies to the cup.
Nene, the screen. Knight for three. Drains the three-pointer.
And a good judge of spacing. Sees he can get it off over the taller man.
I'll tell you, he did a nice job feeling the defense out, rising up with ease from the perimeter.
Now, here's Burks. Screen by Udo. Crowder, the pass to Burks. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Burks has got 5 points now in the quarter. Rubio against Knight. Nene outside. Knight sets the pick for Nene. Kicks it to Tucker. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
The ability to create shots off the dribble. This may be his area of greatest improvement. Tucker's worked on that.
Screen by Udo. Outside Crowder. Back to Rubio. Knight passes to Tucker. Inside. And it's Green with the jam.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Now, here is O'Neal. Crowder is screen on Gordon. They get the rebound. Burks. And a good offensive board. And he gets the bucket. Burks has got his third basket of the night.
I think you could see early on that he was really with a rhythm and flow tonight. And now he's really starting to take off.
Timeout called the Rockets. This is their first chance to take a look at the Jazz this season.
They take on a team they knocked out of the playoffs last season in the conference semis.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for Udo. Favors comes in for Jay Crowder. Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Royce O'Neal. And it's Mitchell in for Ricky Rubio. Now, here is Harden. He's coming off a 28-point game against the Clippers.
He was active all night on the defensive end as well. With all the steals he came away with, he had him totally rattled.
And here is Mitchell. James Harden getting it to go from deep. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Ingles in the corner. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Utah comes into this one after the win against the Grizzlies. Capella sets a screen for Ennis. There's a screen by Chris. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. We now have rules, Doris, that protect shooters from defenders stepping underneath them. But what about when the defender leaves his feet and the offensive player steps underneath and tries to draw the foul?
Well, I think one of the things that we have to look at is, okay, we certainly do not want the defender to have unnatural movements which place him underneath the feet of the shooter, because that's where injuries can happen. On the other side of the equation, and this has become problematic to me, you see far too many shooters either jump unnaturally outside of what should be a straight up and down shooting motion, or guys who kick their legs sideways in an attempt to draw contact and fall over. But Kev, this is where officiating is about feel, touch, and vision.
Now here's Favors. Kicks it out to Mitchell. Gobert with a screen for Mitchell. It's rebounded by Houston. Capella's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Here's Chris. And the 3-ball is good. Chris has got his 2nd bucket of the night.
That's a nice, smooth shooting stroke. One of the things that separates Chris from other super athletes is his size.
Gobert, the screen. Here's Mitchell. No good. They had a chance to end the run there.
Well, I'll tell you, if he keeps missing shots, it's going to be a tough night to try to trim this lead.
Snatched up. Goes up again. Gobert with the block. To the inside. Puts it up from 12. And that one comes up a bit short. Rockets leading by 15. Here's Ennis from 12 feet out. And Houston again with the bucket. Utah calls timeout.
Well, at the start of the summer, many expected a busy market for Capella in free agency. Eventually, though, signing a 4-year deal to remain with the Rockets. I feel like it's a great deal for Houston as Capella gives them the perfect inside presence to complement Harden and Paul.
Chris Paul, he's checked in for Ennis. And a switcher also for Utah. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for Alec Burks. Mitchell kicks to Ingles. Gobert with a screen for Ingles. Gobert with a screen on Harden. Ingles passes to Favors. Favors sets the pick for Sefolosha. Jumper off the screen. That one good for 2. Sefolosha's got 5 points so far.
Yeah, the assist has to go to the screen on that play. Gave him all the room he needed to rise and fire.
Chris passed to Harden. There's a screen by Chris. And again, the Rockets good for 2.
Listen, he's been a key component of their offense tonight. Efficient and effective.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, as we know, Rudy Gobert is a 7-footer with an aggressive mentality. He said some guys don't have pride, but I do. Sometimes too much. Quinn Snyder said he gets angry, which I like. Whatever kind of stereotypes Americans have about the French, they don't apply. Not to him anyway, guys.
Thank you, GA. He is indeed a fiery competitor. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And Favors kicks to Mitchell. Back to Favors. Ingles against Harden. Ingles passes to Gobert. And slam dunk by Gobert.
I'll tell you, Joe Ingles is proving that as a passer, he is a special player.
Bob Bass to Capella. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Nice ball movement by Utah. Ingles. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And Ingles, one of the bigger stars on the Australian national team.
He's a virtual unknown when he enters the NBA, but a credit to Joe Ingles because he's a knockdown three-point shooter who now can manipulate pick and rolls. This guy is becoming a factor in the NBA.
Two.
And the first one drops.
I love the way Joe Ingles, guys, affects winning in multiple ways. This is a guy who does so many little things. He can facilitate the offense. He understands how to play pick and roll, and we know he can make the long-distance shot with great regularity.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. And Doris Ingles, a player who does so many things well, and the coaching staff loves him.
I don't know how you couldn't love Joe Ingles because he's a terrific passer, an excellent defender, one of the better shooters from range, and he keeps teams honest. What a player this guy is.
And stolen by Chris. The shot that time, not on target. Gobert with the defensive effort. And here's Sefolosha for 3. It's rebound.
I'll tell you, he's been dry from three-point range in the second quarter after hitting one in the first.
Here's Harden. Gobert pulls it in. Gobert's got 8 rebounds in this game. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. Doris, last year, a bit of a bounce-back season for Favors. Got back to doing what he does best.
No, exactly. I mean, Derek Favors probably underrated defensively. This guy eats up a ton of space, will bother a lot of shots. He can contribute even when his offense isn't there.
And the first one drops.
You're having a lot of success from the line here in the second quarter.
He's perfect from the line this time. And for so long, it seems Derek Favors had played in a crowded front court, but still can get the job done.
And Favors has shown his versatility and impact in spot minutes his whole career. Every team can use a player like Favors. He just eats up space inside and can play that tough D. Offensively, I think he'd like to get back to where he was around 2015, and hopefully he'll find the chances to do so.
Here's Capella after the basket by Utah. He had stolen by Ingles. Oh, the lob to Gobert. Stolen by Harden. Chris kicks to Harden. Knocks down the three ball. Harden's got a couple of three-pointers in the second for the Rockets.
And that makes it 2 3-pointers in the quarter so far and 4 for the game.
Mitchell passes to Ingles. Back to Mitchell. Gobert, the screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Jacks up a 3. And it's Mitchell missing.
I'll tell you, they're trying to cut into this lead, but he has not hit one this period.
Chris can't hit. Jam by 16. Pass to Favors. The layup off target. Capella with it. Passes it to Chris. Harden right side. Got a hand on it.
Wow, Joe Ingles sends it back twice on the pipes. Big-time defensive play. Boy, what has gotten into him? He's taken his game to an unreal level this quarter.
Now, here's Mitchell. He had 28 points in the win against Memphis.
Yeah, don't forget how great he was drawing contact and getting himself to the free throw line. Picked up a ton of easy points there.
And it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here.
Man, you love the effort. Just getting the hand in there and knocking it out.
You love that they're making their presence felt on the defensive end. You can't afford to be careless with this team.
And the Rockets making a change here. Gordon's checked in. Utah also making some changes. Royce O'Neal comes in for Derek Favors. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Mitchell.
This is where Joe Ingles is gifted at realizing when he should go up with it. Really good timing on that shot.
Capella dishes to Paul. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Jazz trail by 16. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Paul against Ingles. Knocked loose. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
They've hit every one of their free throws here in the second quarter. Very important when you're trailing.
The Jazz have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And the first one at the line is good.
How about this guy? He comes into the league as an undrafted free agent, and Joe Ingles has more than proven his worth. The high IQ, the lights-out shooting from deep, so much to love about Ingles.
That one is no good.
And just a much better job of attacking and getting to the line here in the second quarter. Didn't have a single attempt in the first.
Paul, it's tipped. And so we wrap up the first half. Rockets lead by 15. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thanks. Here with head coach Quinn Snyder. Coach, what adjustments are you going to do in the second half?
You just got to keep playing, keep taking the shots, and that's not the issue as much as us not executing on offense. And when we don't score, sometimes our defense lags as well.
Everybody wants to see the ball go in the basket first, right? Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings, friends and neighbors. One half down, another half to go. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. James Harden led the way in the first half. He had 16 points, 2 block shots, and 2 rebounds. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
They looked like they were playing an easy game of pitch and catch out there. The playmakers and finishers were in sync on every level. The assist disparity, now that was big. Now that's the reason why it's a blowout right now, and they play well.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Utah?
Well, with the way they struggled to defend the three-point line, it started to look like warm-up drills. They cannot be afraid to bring more defenders out high. They got to make life tougher on those outside shooters.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. A fantastic game from Harden in this one.
And in that first half, something we don't see a lot of from him, the ability to make everyone around him better.
I don't think there's any question that that's an added bonus for this team, Greg. I'll be interested to see, can he keep it up in the second half?
We begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Taking a look at the Jazz. Mitchell and Ingles are out on the wings. Favors and Gobert, the tough pair inside. And it's Rubio in at the point guard. And now Utah, fast break. Here's Ingles. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Ingles has got the first bucket of the third here for Utah. Harden kicks to Anthony. Back to Harden. It's stolen by Ingles. Outside Favors. And there's the feed to Ingles. Outside Anthony. In the corner, Harden. Lob pass to Capella. Rubio against Paul. The baseline J off the mark.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
Gobert, the screen. Nice ball movement by Utah. Lets it go with a three. That one's in there. Rocket lead is cut down now to just 10 points with that basket for Mitchell. Harden kicks to Anthony. A second chance effort. He lays it in. Anthony's got 16 points.
Well, it took 4 tries, but they get their first bucket in the second half.
Rubio, the pass to Favors. Now Rubio. Back to Favors. Favors with a screen on Harden. Here's Mitchell. No good off the back of the rim.
Well, the offense got him the ball in exactly the position they wanted. That's just better defense. A lot of people don't know that Marquise Chris, his first love was actually football. This guy had tremendous promise as a tight end, defensive end, safety, you name it.
The Rockets have gone 4 of 6 so far from the line, missing a couple.
Yeah, a year ago, though, Kevin, 78% conversion rate from the free throw line. So that's a nice all-around effort.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
That's good from Capella. And when you think about possibilities, Chris would be an unbelievable red zone threat.
Well, if he were playing football, he'd probably have to be a tight end, right? And that was always the problem. This is why Chris switched to basketball, partly because that's what he's built for, right? He's tall, he's long, he's fluid, and his strength is more basketball-type strength.
And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. The pass to Favors. Over Chris. It's deflected.
Oh, the freak athleticism. Chris with the tools to be an elite rim protector.
The Rockets with another miss.
Not how they hope to start the second half, missing 4 of their first 5 here.
Mitchell kicks to Rubio. Pass to Ingles. And here's Favors. Now here's Gobert. Using his post move to get the 2 points. Gobert's got 11. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Capella dishes to Carmelo. The Rockets again can't hit. Jazz trail by 12. To the paint and stolen by Chris. And they're running. Capella, the pass to Harden. Gobert with the defensive effort. Utah's gone to the three-pointer 11 times tonight, nailed 5 of them. Ingles kicks to Rubio. And a miss there with a chance to cut the lead to single digits. Anthony against Ingles. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. They get Derek Favors.
Well, this guy, a top 10 pick in 2016, we have seen Marquise Chris's talent. We've also seen the areas where he can improve.
First trip to the line for him here.
And you know, you'll take what he can give you from the free throw line. Looking at his numbers, just really not one of his strengths. Shooting in the low 60s last season.
That free throw, no good.
Young, rangy big man. Chris possesses a nice skill set, and I think the potential to be a terrific player in our league.
The Jazz making a switch here. Crowder's checked in. So neither attempt will fall that time for him.
Well, obviously, Rudy Gobert sets himself apart on the defensive end. I once had a coach tell me, Rudy Gobert is a defense unto himself. The shot blocking, the shot altering, and one of the best rebounders in the game.
Indoors with Gobert in his defense. It goes beyond the shot block.
Oh, my goodness, Kevin, way beyond the shot blocking. That reach bothers enough shots that even when he doesn't block it, he's a problem.
That's good from Capella. And Utah making a change here. Burks is checked in. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Doris, when you view international basketball, 13 and 14-year-olds playing in academies, some players turning pro overseas at 16, would something like that work in this country?
You know what, Kevin? I'm not necessarily for something like this. What I do believe is the NBA could become more involved across the board, and we should have more uniformity in basketball in general. And I think one of the ways to do that is to make sure we set up some sort of basketball committee across the different levels of basketball, starting with youth, going to high school, into college, then the semi-professional sort of basketball leagues out there, or the formative leagues like the G League, and then the NBA. I think we just need to look at the game in its totality and create some measure of uniformity. But frankly, I don't love the idea of 13 and 14-year-olds leaving their home to go to, quote, sport academies.
Here's Anthony following the basket by Donovan Mitchell, and the foul on Alec Burks. That's foul number 2 for him.
And still early in the period, and they're only one foul away from being over the limit.
James Ennis, he'll check in for Marquise Chris. And here are the Rockets now. Back to Anthony. Oh, and a jam by Anthony.
That attack mentality like he does so often. Melo just putting on an offensive clinic here.
Mitchell passes to Crowder. Now Gobert. Nice ball movement by Utah. Favors inside. Anthony on him. Favors can't get it to go. Harden inside the three-point line. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. It's going to be on Rudy Gobert.
And the southpaw stroke of Harden is just beautiful to watch. When he's cooking, he's one of the more lethal scorers in our league.
2, gentlemen.
And he knocks down the first one.
And James Harden, last season's MVP, the runner-up in 2015, actually won the players' vote for MVP that season. But last season, he took home the official hardware.
And so he makes both from the line. And with James Harden winning the MVP in 2018, Russell Westbrook in 2017, Kevin Durant in 2014, you think a few what-ifs right now in Oklahoma City?
A few, more than that, Kevin. I mean, probably tough for them all to win MVP playing on one team. A good shot at a different trophy, though, maybe the one that starts with the name of Larry.
Alec Burks, Kevin, continuing to develop into a dependable scorer. He's got great size for a two-guard.
He's gone 2 for 2 at the line so far.
And last season, 86% from the line. So he's always had that calm presence at the line, no matter the situation.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good, Burks. And he makes both free throws. Rockets leading by 14. Harden kicks to Ennis. Pass to Anthony. Great D that time from Favors. Utah has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Mitchell passes to Crowder. Outside Favors. Here's Mitchell. Another miss by Utah. Houston's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. No one covering. And that's now 21 points for Carmelo Anthony.
As soon as Melo sees you lean back just a bit, he's going to look for that pull-up and make you pay as he did there.
And there's a whistle that's going to go on James Harden. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for the Jazz.
Thabo Sefolosha.
Mitchell kicks to Burks. Stolen by Harden. Lobs it up for Anthony. Hammers the alley-oop through.
Oh, the pass was perfect, and Carmelo just finishes with style.
And that Unleash Chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play. Now here's Crowder. Kicks it out to Mitchell. Gobert, the screen. Pulls it from the elbow. And it's Mitchell missing. On offense, here are the Rockets. They're on a 15-6 run. And that one's good, Anthony.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Outside Crowder. Gobert with a screen for Crowder. Here's Mitchell. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Well, he continues to have trouble with his shot, well below 50% from the field in this period.
Here's Anthony. Rudy Gobert with the rebound.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
Well, certainly a disappointing result, but they'll live with the shot. They'll take that every time.
Now, here's Mitchell. 8 points for him. Gobert with a screen on Paul. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Mitchell. Again, Mitchell missing.
Now, that's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
No, exactly, Greg. Especially when the ball is that deep inside. You've got to respect how he altered that shot.
Outside Crowder. Burks dishes to Sefolosha. Crowder sets a screen for Cephalosha. Utah needs to get off a shot here. And it's Mitchell missing.
And they just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Greg, I think this other team is just in a zone right now. They're clicking on the offensive end, and the defense starting to look frustrated.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
I'm not sure why he doesn't continue to move the basketball. Would have served that team much better.
Here's Mitchell after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. Cephalosha passes to Crowder. They need this one, and he dunks it after the pick frees him up.
Well, Crowder, a terrific athlete. This guy's leaping ability is sick.
Paul kicks to Capella. And there's the foul on Jay Crowder. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. The Rockets have made 10 of their 14 tries at the free throw line in the game.
Taking 2 shots.
No good on that one. Houston with a big group substitution here. Nene, he's checked in for Anthony. Gerald Green comes in for James Ennis. Eric Gordon, he's checked in for James Harden. And it's Brandon Knight in for Chris Paul. Utah also making some changes. Udo's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Royce O'Neal comes in for Crowder. And Raul Neto subbed in for Mitchell. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
O'Neal kicks to Udo. Here's Neto. He's guarded by Knight. Off the screen. He's off on that one. And Houston the other way now. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, guys, the Jazz had to weather the loss of Gordon Hayward, so they need to play together to have success. Coach Quinn Snyder said, "We expect guys to put the team in front of themselves and support each other. Our strength isn't in one guy. We need each other." Kevin?
David, one thing for sure, they come to play almost every game. Thank you. It's stolen by Udo. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. And a moment to check out now what Utah has coming up. On Saturday, they'll be facing Drew Holiday and the New Orleans Pelicans. Then on Sunday, they'll face off against DeAndre Jordan and the Dallas Mavericks.
And the matchup with the Timberwolves, that's a contest that could easily go either way. Small mistakes could be the difference, and both teams will need to be at their best.
That's good from O'Neal. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for the Rockets. Ricky Rubio checked in for Utah. O'Neal hits them both. Houston leading by 23. Knight kicks to Green. Nene, the screen. Here's Tucker. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And P.J. Tucker, Greg, a rugged physical defender at the forward.
And here's the guy, second-round pick back at 06. Spent 5 seasons playing abroad before making his return to the association. Now he's a seasoned veteran and not shy about holding his teammates accountable, especially defensively.
And he makes the first.
Don't make no mistake, guys. One of the more effective second-round picks we have in the NBA. Tucker provides a steady diet of production.
Paul's checked in for Houston. Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Utah. Both free throws good from Tucker. Utah has gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Rubio with it. Chris Paul covering. O'Neal kicks to Cephalosha. Screen by Udo. Just 5 on the clock. Cephalosha's shot is good.
Shakes his man by using exceptional use of the screen. I mean, from there, it's smooth sailing.
Ball against Rubio. Ball left side. Utah with the rebound. Cephalosha's got 3 rebounds now in this one. O'Neal passes to Cephalosha. Here's Rubio. Paul grabs the board. Rockets leading by 23. They kick it out to Green. Back to Tucker. Outside, Green. Gordon, the pass to Green. Gordon a screen. Green against O'Neal. Fires the 3. The shot by Paul, no good.
And it's just one of those days, guys. He has just struggled to shoot the basketball.
It's deflected.
Twice on the pipes. Nene sends it back.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Nene. O'Neal kicks to Ingles. O'Neal a screen on Gordon. Back to O'Neal. Clock at 4. Screen by O'Neal. That's a 2 from Cephalosha.
Well, physical on-ball defense, something we come to expect every night from Tucker.
Shoots from 14. Rubio with the rebound. Rubio's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Passes it to O'Neal. He kicks to Udo. The dish to Cephalosha. Rubio outside. There's the pass to Ingles. Screen by Udo. Another shot. The shot, no good. And so it's Houston, riding high with a 23-point lead heading into the break. Their defense has been active and effective. And don't go away. We'll be right back. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call.
Well, making the game easy for your teammates, Greg. All about putting them in a position to score. That's pretty.
Welcome back. 4th quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. Gordon is at the 2 with Green playing the 3. Marquise Chris is out there with Nene, and it's Paul in at the point. It's the 5 for Houston right now. The G League last season experimenting, Doris, with coaches' challenges of certain calls during games. Do you see that perhaps moving over as well to the NBA?
Kevin, my understanding on this is that across NBA ownership, there is real momentum to allow for a coach's challenge. And I think it's commonplace to see teams argue a call. When it's all said and done, we want to get things correct. And so maybe you see this happen in the G League. And what's the carryover to the NBA? I don't know, but I can tell you unequivocally, ownership wants to see a coach's challenge in the NBA at some point.
And I think, Doris, anytime you can make those coaches do more, put more on the line, just adds to the intrigue of the game.
No question.
Now, here is O'Neal. Rubio outside. Ingles in the corner. Over Nene. And misses it off the right side of the rim. The 3. That's good from Chris on the assist by Eric Gordon.
Another triple. And that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Now, here's Rubio. He used that pick to perfection.
But just so under control with the ball. Nice move by Rubio.
One item that stood out, their ball movement.
Things are definitely clicking, and more importantly, it makes it really hard to defend.
Here's Chris, and there's a foul. It'll go on Udo. That's his third foul of the game.
You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
Hartenstein, he's checked in for the Rockets. Carter Williams comes in for Paul. Utah also making some changes. Bradley's checked in for Cephalosha, and Allen subbed in for Joe Ingles. Gordon against O'Neal, and so it looks like the Rockets will retain possession here. Houston making a switch here. Ennis is checked in.
Checking in for your Rockets, James Ennis.
Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Just 2 to shoot. Green, no luck.
Boy, that's a tough miss. Does well to get himself open and then botches it up.
Here's Rubio. That one off the back iron and out.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Well, classic example of crowding the shooter, not letting him get comfortable in the mid-range.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
To the middle. Bradley dishes to Udo. Allen against Green. And it's blocked. Oh, and here we go. Green's got it. The fast break chance. The shot misses. And Utah the other way now. Bradley passes to Udo. Third minute of action now gone here in the fourth. Screen by O'Neal. Pass to Udo. Kicks it to Allen. Hits the three-point bomb. And here are the Rockets now. They've only given up 5 points here in the fourth quarter. Outside, Green. Doris, this term +6 coming into the lexicon describes a player whose wingspan exceeds his height by at least 6 inches. I know you've heard that before.
Yeah, well, we can think of several players who fit this description of the +6. Electric young players like Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, the Claw. The Claw extends to his wingspan as well. And then Draymond Green, who in the fourth quarter defensively can seem like a player who's everywhere at every moment.
Throws down the breakaway jam.
Costly there. Just a loss of focus leads to the ball going the other way.
Well, he simply wasn't paying attention. Coughed it up. Got to be more assertive and strong with the basketball.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
And not surprising, obviously unhappy with the lack of response from his team.
I think, Greg, he just has to get them on the same page. With this kind of lax defensive effort, something has got to change.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Hartenstein. Anthony comes in for Ennis. James Harden, he's checked in for Green. And Chris Paul's subbed in for Michael Carter-Williams. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for Bradley. Favors comes in for Udo. Crowder, he's checked in for O'Neal. And Donovan Mitchell subbed in for Allen. Gobert trying to get open. Pass to Paul. So often when a player changes teams, Doris, we see a lot of emotions from him, his teammates, from the fans. And coaches, is it even reasonable to expect loyalty in sports nowadays?
You know, I think times have changed, Kevin. We're no longer living in an era where a player sticks with an organization throughout the course of his tenure, or at least that is the outlier nowadays. The reality is teams always make decisions with their long-term best interests at heart. And so when a player has earned the right to embrace his free agency, there's a reason it's termed free agency, then he should have an equal opportunity to the team to make the decisions that are in his best interest. Whatever those values and priorities for that individual player are, when you reach free agency, you've earned that right.
And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. And that'll be his third foul so far. Chris, he's checked in for Nene.
Marquise Chris.
Here's Capella. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And James Harden was crowned MVP after last season. Greg, hard to argue with that selection.
Harden has had a case to win an MVP award for several years now. Finally was able to be the clear choice this past season. Another great line on what is shaping up to be a Hall-worthy resume.
He misses the free throw. A lot of times late in the season, Doris, we see the expensive vets bought out of their contracts. Often they sign for a cheap price for a true contender, and that affects parity among postseason qualifiers.
No doubt about it, Kevin. It really brings into very sharp focus the value of a quality GM, because the rich can get richer, and it can tilt things toward the top teams. I don't mind it, Kevin. Part of the reason these players agree to a buyout in the first place is the opportunity to choose their next situation. It is within the rules, and therefore I have no problem with it.
I like it as well.
Shooting for Houston, Marquise Chris. Taking 2 shots.
That's good from Chris. So he gets them both. Utah's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Outside Crowder. Doris, for both charting game action and improving player health, the players now are being tracked by the player tracking devices or chips in their jersey during a game.
I love it, Kevin, because what it enables teams to do is measure the impact and the toll it can take on a player. For example, we now know that player X ran 5 miles on this particular night in this game action environment. And what that affords you is, okay, if you have a back-to-back situation, then you're going to be more careful with that player's minutes the next night. Or if it's an off day, Kevin, you can just say to that player, listen, unless we're doing a walkthrough, you're not involved. I want you off your feet and recovering. Anything that helps the competitive environment that these players are playing in, I'm all for it, Kev.
That was an excellent example. I like that. Doris, you know, you watch the athleticism that Mitchell has, and it's a surprise he didn't go any higher in the draft.
Well, this is a guy who had so many highlight reel dunks in his young career, proven scorer over the course of the 82-game season. But listen, Mitchell wasn't a scorer at Louisville, so it's not surprising what happened in the draft.
Free throw drops for Mitchell.
Boy, you have to admire Donovan Mitchell. This guy is capable of playing either guard position, and he plays with so much passion and energy, guys. It's infectious.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Anthony. And Knight subbed in for Paul. Alec Burks checked in for Utah. Raul Neto comes in for Ricky Rubio.
To me, guys, Donovan Mitchell gives evidence and credence to the notion that drafting players is more art than science. Think about it. This guy taken 13th. Not much was expected. But all of last year, he was neck and neck in the heat of the Rookie of the Year talk.
And now, here's Chris. After the miss from Jay Crowder. And with Mitchell being slept on, motivated him into Doris a great rookie season.
Well, Jimmy Butler said Mitchell plays with a chip on his shoulder, and I'll tell you, he does seem to have that me against the world approach. And whatever his motivation, Kevin, it's working.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
Free throw good, James Harden. We've seen, Doris, the NBA take a very active role in growing the game internationally. Talk about some of the specifics you've seen in that regard.
Well, I think you have a great leader at the top in Adam Silver, who understands that the game is growing on an international stage. It's becoming increasingly popular. And so you see NBA teams going over and playing regular season games in different countries. That's one particular way. Then you have the NBA Cares initiative, which when those teams are over there, they can go out and build basketball academies. NBA in Africa is a once-a-year trip, and they bring 2 teams of NBA players. Think about some of the players off of that continent where they have turned into legit stars. So I think it's important that the game continue to develop, and I love that the NBA considers it part of their responsibility.
Chris can't hit. Utah has gotten 3 of their 6 three-pointers to fall here in the 4th. Rubio right side. There's the screen. Here's Favors. It's hauled in by Clint Capella. Rockets have gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the 4th quarter. Chris. Another miss by Houston. Jazz shooting in the 4th quarter down around 31%, not playing with as much energy here lately. Here's what the Houston Rockets schedule looks like. On Friday, they'll be playing against Lou Williams and the Los Angeles Clippers. Then on Tuesday, they'll be playing against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. Houston with a big group substitution here. P.J. Tucker, he's checked this. James Ennis comes in for Carmelo Anthony. Green, he's checked in for James Harden. And it's Brandon Knight in for Chris Paul. Free throw dropped for Mitchell.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the 2nd.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Chris, he's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Anthony comes in for Gordon's checked in for Gerald Green. And Paul's subbed in for Knight. Utah also making some changes. Udo comes in for Derek Favors. And it's Burks in for Ricky Rubio. And Mitchell drops them both.
He's forcing the action now, finally getting to the charity stripe after no freebies in the first half.
Paul kicks to Gordon. And the foul called on Donovan Mitchell. So that will be his 2nd foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Eric Gordon, the 2017 6th Man of the Year award winner. I mean, he has found a home and just been tremendously productive with the Rockets.
That free throw good from Eric Gordon. And Gordon also the winner of the 2017 three-point shootout. His long-range proficiency a great fit on the Rockets.
You know, he's got that low set shot release, but, man, he gets it off with great volume and one of the more prolific three-point shooters in our league.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Derek Favors checked in for Utah. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Burks. Well, the league is always looking for ways to adjust the rules, make them better. There's a committee that studies this every single year, and You know, with that in mind, Doris, any rules you think they should alter or tweak?
Yeah, there's absolutely one, Kevin, and I think this goes to the point where perhaps we can have some more uniformity in the FIBA-ruled games that are played and the NBA. And there's one thing that's occurred in international play where players are becoming more athletic, and the opportunity for electric stuff to happen in transition is critical. To me, we have got to stop the intentional fouls, which are prohibiting fast breaks and all the potential for the explosive, exciting athleticism to be on display. So that, to me, is something we've got to address.
I'm with you. Catching up on the changes for Houston. Marquise Chris, he's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Carmelo Anthony comes in for James Ennis. Gordon's checked in for Gerald Green. And it's Paul in for Knight. Free throw good, Burks. Rockets leading by 22. Paul kicks to Gordon. Houston moving the ball around. Capella against Gobert. Here's Cephalosha. Lays it up and banks it in.
I'll tell you, unless someone gets a hand to it, it's hard to miss the mark from that close range.
Paul passes to Gordon. Back to Paul. Capella sets a screen for Paul. Shoots over Burks. And he overshot that one, missing.
I'll tell you, with the struggle he has had today, he probably won't be their #1 option as they look to close this game out.
Carmelo, that's his first personal foul, 4th team foul. At the line for the Jazz, Derek Favors. At the line for 2.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Favors.
I got to tell you, Kev, I love watching Derek Favors play the game. I think this guy's reliable, and he still has a ton of upside.
Donovan Mitchell's checked in for the Jazz. He makes 1 of 2 that time. Houston leading by 19. Gordon with no one around, and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 3 assists in the game. And the Jazz call time here. And Greg, another free agent this past summer was Chris Paul. Many unsure of what his plans might be, but he made them very clear in a hurry.
Paul signing very early in free agency with the Rockets. Huge 4-year deal worth $160 million. Rockets are in win-now mode and were willing to commit the money to Paul to give them a shot at winning a title in the next few seasons.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, James Harden.
Plain and simple, his scoring is what made him our pick tonight. Even when the D's given him all their attention, they just have not been able to contain him. If they backed off him for 1 second, he made them pay.
The better he played, the more these fans got revved up. And that continued to play out over the course of his amazing performance. There's a good screen. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Passes it to Cephalosha. 5 to shoot. Over Paul. The Jazz with another miss. Rockets leading by 21. The pass to Carmelo. As basketball becomes more global, we continue to see veterans come from abroad and Doris make an impact as role players in the league.
You know what I love, Kevin, is great basketball players could come from any place in the world. And obviously, general managers now have got to expand their field of vision. They've got to have international scouting. But the NBA would be a lot less rich a place if we did not have Dirk Nowitzki, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, the unicorn in New York City, Kristaps Porzingis. I don't care where players come from. All I want to know is, can they play basketball? And if they can, I want to watch them.
And it's Mitchell missing. Houston's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. Anthony with the screen on Rubio. Poked loose. Floats one. The putback. It's good on the putback.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Rockets.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for James Harden.
And the way he was able to dice up their D with his passing really made things easy for everyone else on his team.
Now Mitchell, after the missed 3 by Carmelo. He took good advantage of that screen.
When you think pure scorer, one of the guys that comes to mind, as young as he is, Donovan Mitchell.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's Anthony. Utah with the rebound. In the corner, Cephalosha with it. A three-pointer off the mark. So we see Houston taking the W here. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Carmelo, what did you like best about the win tonight?
We just played hard. We came out here ready to play. We jumped out there quick on the defensive end, and offensively we got it going again. And it was a great team win today, though.
Everybody contributing. Carmelo, thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long and good night, everyone.